Tuesday, the first day of October 2024. Hello there and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. I am Rukidi Kijjanangoma. On sign language, I'm being assisted by Senior Mo Yusuf, and we're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. The URI Koktom 70 has urged the judiciary and legal stakeholders to enact a law regulating the operations of moneylenders whom he accused of extorting Ugandans while seizing their assets and property as collateral. He was opening the Southern and Eastern Africa Chief Justices Forum Conference at Speak Resort, Munyonyo. Take a watch.
Museveni officiated the opening of the conference, which will run for 5 days under the theme Enhanced Access to Justice, underscoring reform in the African judiciary system.
The impediments to meaningful access to justice, the challenges ushered in by technological advancement, and the intense pressure stirred by rapid population growth and urbanization all point to the need for immediate and appropriate judicial reforms.
The aim is to extend better judicial services to citizens in the Southern and Eastern Africa. Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo highlighted improvements in the service delivery within the judiciary, but he acknowledged that the system still faces several challenges, which he is optimistic will be addressed.
And the judiciary has, over time, put in place both physical and functional access to justice for justice seekers. In this regard, we have significantly expanded courthouse coverage throughout the country. We have correspondingly enhanced the numbers of judicial officers and support staff. In Africa, our justice challenges are largely common to all of us. They include inadequate court infrastructure, delayed adjudication, more notoriously known as case backlog, geographical barriers, socio-economic underdevelopment.
The chairman of the Southern and Eastern Africa Chief Justices Forum and Chief Justice of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Honorable Justice Bek Mafalala, commended President Museveni for the recent renovations of the High Court structures.
Your Excellency, I wish to personally thank you in my capacity as the chairman of the forum. I'm advised for taking a keen interest in the improvement of the terms and conditions of the churches of Uganda, the improvement of the infrastructure for the judiciary.
However, he expressed concern about unemployment and poverty among African member states, despite the continent's abundant natural resources.
When the natural resources of the African continent continue to be plundered and looted by foreign interest, and this has caused untold economic hardship and suffering to the people of Africa.
President Museveni urged the Chief Justices, judges and lawyers to serve the public with integrity to ensure justice.
Link justice with enlightenment, because the middle class values like respect for women and gender equality and so on are better addressed in an educated society where people, so that's why university education becomes very important, which all of us should support.
He called for a unified Africa that prioritizes Pan-Africanism and patriotism, as well as the establishment of a common market.
And that's why we emphasize patriotism. You love Uganda. Why do you love Uganda? Because you need it for your prosperity, better than your tribes and religious groups. Then Pan-Africanism, you need Africa, not only East Africa, but now we have got the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area, for the whole market of Africa. So therefore, when I see you here coming together, now then once you have got the African market, you can also now start talking with the Chinese, with others for additional markets.
The president criticized the moneylenders stating that they excessively exploit citizens to the point of confiscating their assets and property.
Recently, I want to bring a law to fight money lenders. Money lenders are becoming a problem. They go to our villagers, cheat them, charge them extortionate. Inflation rate in Uganda is very low. It's only 3% or even lower. But you find people charging 240%. In an economy where inflation rate is only 2%. Why do you do that? Oh, no. We had a contract with this villager who didn't know even what he was signing. Of course, we are going to make the law. But if it was me, even before the law came, just using the law of contracts, because that's what they are claiming now, that there was a contract between an illiterate villager with a money lender, that they signed something. And in that document, they don't say that X borrowed from Y. They say X bought the house of Y. So a lending contract is hidden as a purchase contract. But me, if it was me, if I was the one sitting in the case, I would say, how can a house in Munyonyo cost?
The 5-day conference will conclude on Saturday with the Chief Justice from South Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, Burundi, among others, along with the judges and lawyers attending the first day. I'm Ivan Juko and Viola Nansubuga for UBC.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni has said government will register caretakers of older persons above 80 years to benefit from the parish development model funds. He said Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has been tasked to register caretakers of older persons above 80 years so that they are prioritized for top-ups under the parish development model. Now, PDM is a government strategy or approach for organizing and delivering public and private sector interventions for wealth creation and employment generation at the parish level as the lowest economic planning unit. This was contained in a speech delivered by the Vice President of Uganda, Jessica Alupo, during celebrations to mark the International Day of Older Persons at Masaka Liberation Square in Masaka City. The day was celebrated under the theme Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Older Persons, Everyone's Responsibility, because aging is not optional. The President urged the elderly to appreciate such transformations provided by a caring and people-centered government like the NRM to deliver such social protection benefits.
Contribution of older persons towards the development of our country. The theme for this year is protection and promotion of older persons' rights, everyone's responsibility, because age is not an option. Our theme key message that aging is not optional is about you and me doing a self-reflection. We must do the right things that guarantee respect and dignity for our older persons. Because today it's our elders in their 80s, tomorrow it is you who will badly need respect and care. Government is doing its part. We started by reforming the public service pension scheme, and I am happy that most pensioners' payrolls have now been decentralized and older persons can now access their money with ease. I used to hear very many complaints of older persons spending sleepless nights trekking to Kampala for their pensions, lining up in long queues at Wandegea, and we could not allow that to continue. Under economic transformation, we have continued to emphasize workable prescriptions such as the 4-acre model. Here in Greater Masaka, this model is applicable and has been tested. Let us embrace it to immunize and cure the disease called poverty, including old age poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we resolve that on top of the Special Enterprise Grant for Older Persons, popularly known as SAGE, and like other groups, older persons can also access 1 million from parish development model to be able to boost the implementation of this 4-acre model. These are on top of other mainstream government interventions against poverty, specifically tailored towards the older persons. For older persons above 80 years, apart from the 75,000 that is given quarterly, we are working out a mechanism for the caretakers to get extra support through the parish development model. Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has been tasked to register caretakers of older persons above 80 years so that they are prioritized for top-ups under the parish development model. Ladies and gentlemen, only a caring and people-centered government like NRM can deliver such social protection benefits. Let us appreciate these transformations because before NRM came to power, these grants to older persons used to be dreams and only researchers were reading about them in the first world countries. Now, social pensions to older persons are a reality here in Uganda. I thank you all, and I wish all older persons of Uganda happy celebrations.
Now, Member of Parliament for Mityana South, Richard Lumu, has tabled the Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill before Parliament. Now, the bill seeks to change the mode of electing the Leader of Opposition in Parliament. The Parliamentary Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs will, over the next weeks, scrutinize the relevance of the proposed new legislation amid mixed reactions from a section of the public over the objectives of the bill. Members of Parliament Alien York and Oguzu Lee accused the presiding officers of selective operations.
The anticipated Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024 has been tabled for first reading.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the certificate of financial implication.
Mityana South MP Richard Lumu was recently granted leave of Parliament to source for an amendment, specifically Section 8 of the Administration of Parliament Act, which provides for the election of the Leader of Opposition. The current rules provide that LOP is elected by the opposition party with the highest numerical strength in Parliament.
There is also another problem where two parties bring equal numbers of MPs. For example, if DP my party manages to bring 30 and NUP also brings 30, the law, the way it stands now, we cannot get a Leader of Opposition.
Lumu wants the shadow cabinet to be approved by the members of opposition parties in Parliament. But some legislators cite an invisible hand in processing of the bill.
And if you look at how the necessary documents were processed, you can have some doubt that there's something behind it. The certificate of financial implication was given very fast. All the documents were processed very fast. So what is that interest?
The speed at which it's taking, there is something secretly hidden in there. We have many bills that have come here before.
I contacted the office of the Speaker quickly that I have it now what is remaining. They had no reason to give me why they should refuse me from presenting.
These MPs claim MP Lumo did not make enough consultations with the stakeholders before drafting the bill. MPs, including Alion York of Aringa South and Oguzo Lee of Maracha County, accused the presiding officers of selectiveness in their operations.
I'm seeing another private member being provided with assistance, being provided with the certificates, whatever is needed to bring his bill here. I'm now wondering, do I and the private member also have the same privileges in this house or not?
We are entitled to be heard. Honorable Speaker, what is so special with this amendment of Lumu, which was generated in Gulu just within a month, and it is now on the order paper?
The Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced during the parliamentary regional sessions in northern Uganda, a program which was highly contended by the leader of opposition Joel Senyonyi, citing wastage of funds. The bill is now before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament.
You come to the committee and defeat it from there. Mere shouting, mere going on radios, and you say whatever you are saying will not deter me from pursuing a good thing which is going to actually organize and unite more.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Still in the August House, members of the West Nile Parliamentary Caucus are urging government to expedite mobilization of funds for construction of a new modern bridge at Karuma. While presenting a statement on the closure of Karuma Bridge by the Ministry of Works and Transport, the chairperson of the West Nile Parliamentary Caucus, Feta Geoffrey, emphasized that Uganda Wildlife Authority should reconsider its time restrictions. He suggested allowing buses, passengers and private vehicles to travel between 6 and 8 a.m. to avoid additional accommodation costs for travelers. We have more in this story.
Members of the West Nile Parliamentary Caucus have reacted to the closure of the Karuma Bridge to all motorists for major rehabilitation work by the Ministry of Works and Transport on September 23rd. Traffic from West Nile and other parts of northern Uganda has been diverted to Kafu, Masindi Town, Chinyara Town and Bwiso, leading to the Albertine Rift Valley in Bulisa District to access the National Park through the Bugungu Gate. Members of Parliament state that this diversion has increased transportation costs for people and goods by 35%, which has also affected commodity prices.
This may lead to increased influx of smuggled goods in the markets in West Nile, depriving government from revenue.
This route means Uganda's export and import trade is being affected.
People are being killed in West Nile because of the anti-smuggling unit killing people. So we are afraid that if this bridge is not going to be worked on in time, and if alternative routes are not provided to ease movement of goods from the central region, to smuggle goods from South Sudan, from Democratic Republic of Congo.
Some members argue that bus fares have been hiked, while others are requesting the government to increase ferry service times as an alternative route.
Bus operators have hiked their transport fares. For example, traveling from Moyo to Kampala now costs about 80 to 85,000 from just about 50,000.
This road, who was compensated, this road must be opened, and West Nilers or the people of North should not pay for this road.
Whereas now, since most of the traffic has been diverted via Bulisa, most of the people going to Nebi district, even some lower parts of West Nile like Madioko, even Arua, are using the Panyimur ferry. So we expect them and request that they should increase the ferry times on one Seko to Panyimur route from 2 to at least 4 times.
The caucus has asked the government to intervene and address the challenges faced by the people of northern Uganda by improving unmotorized transport sectors in the diversion to prevent traffic from being diverted into the forest.
And should provide security for the trucks between Kinyara Town, Biso Town, and Biso Town to avoid the highway robbers from stealing goods from the trucks.
Among their proposals is for the Ministry of Works and Transport to introduce domestic flights by Uganda Airlines between Entebbe International Airport and Arua Airport at subsidized cost. Members express hope that since the issue of movement for people and goods from West Nile and other parts of northern Uganda was discussed in Cabinet, their concerns will be addressed. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
Uganda government has completed the process for redevelopment of Kilembe copper mines located in Kasese district. This announcement has been made by Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, during the 13th Mineral Wealth Conference taking place here in Kampala.
Uganda is holding the 13th Mineral Wealth Conference under the theme Leveraging Critical Minerals for Sustainable Development and Economic Transformation, highlighting the potential of Uganda's mineral sector. During her address, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa disclosed that the redevelopment of the Kilembe copper mines has now been finalized.
On the authorization of the Mining and Minerals Act of 2022, the Ministry continues to put in place the required regulations to operationalize the Mining and Minerals Act. I want to thank again the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and the members of Parliament, the members of the Environment and Natural Resources Committee, who fast-tracked this act. This act is the foundation of everything in the mining sector.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, emphasized the importance of value addition in the mineral sector, saying that there is need to ensure that the country's resources benefit the local economy.
And I think this should be a continental matter. It shouldn't be even a matter for only East Africa. It should be a matter for the whole of Africa, that we shouldn't export raw materials. The moment we do that, these guys will come and process them from here. And we shall get more. We shall get jobs. We shall get more from our minerals. But it needs a concerted effort. And with, of course, with that, I'm very, very sure we'll be able to achieve much more.
Experts in the mineral field have stressed the necessity of strong governance as Uganda seeks to expand its mining industry. Dr. Abdul Karim, a mining expert, remarked on this critical aspect.
We need to make sure that through mining we leverage our economic development and diversification, because we should not only focus on the mining sector, but also agriculture, tourism, and other economic activities. Adding value to local resources, we need to make sure that we process minerals locally, improve revenues.
A representative from the Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum also highlighted the sector's immense potential to transform the nation's economy, stating that with strategic investments, the country can maximize available mineral wealth.
Of the issues around regulations that operationalize the law have taken a bit of time. But I know, and the Minister has addressed this, is that for the artisanal regulations, it's work in progress, and hopefully before the end of this year, that will be in place, and it will allow the space to open up and thrive. The next will be the national content regulations, and these allow or give opportunity to Ugandans to participate across the mining value chain. And the National Mining Company is not any different from the Uganda National Oil Company, because it holds the commercial interests of the country.
This year's conference, organized by the Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, is particularly timely as a global shift towards clean energy is expected to drive up demand for critical minerals.
It is important we hammer this point home so that not only government, but we people in the private sector understand where we stand. We must get into exploration. We must now rather than later.
Together, we can build a greener and more prosperous future where our value-added mineral wealth contributes to the well-being of all. I thank you all.
Sandra Kahunde, Vincent Wamundu.
State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, launched a multi-million shillings project at Bali Baseka Senior Secondary School in Kakiri, Wakiso district. In efforts to solarize schools across the country for a sustainable future, Nexus Green is collaborating with government to implement solar solutions in educational institutions.
The over 1 billion savings project by Nexus Green aims to socialize schools throughout the country and was official. The Chief Executive Officer of Nexus Green stated that the project at Bali Baseka is a pilot initiative with plans to expand to 100 schools, ultimately achieving 65% savings in energy costs.
You have consistent energy because we're not relying on umeme, because we all know it goes on, it goes off. Does it go on? Does it go off? Yeah. But with Nexus Green solar system, what does it do? It stays on, right? So you have reliability, and that's going to be key for your successes. We are going to have more than 65% saving on your umeme bill. What does that mean, children? It means the money the school saves, they can reinvest it and put it into other things.
Rick Vama commended the Ministry of Education for collaborating with them to enhance the learning environment in schools.
We want to show the government in front of the Honourable Minister and ask and plead to his ministry, as well as the First Lady, to please look at this as a proof of concept to roll out to all other schools. We want to thank the government for taking initiative to be part of this proof of concept.
The Wakiso District Education Officer, Frederick Chinobe, praised the ministry for increasing the funding for school rehabilitation from 400 million to 1 billion shillings.
Eziwewa district ye Wakiso ez'okuddaabiriza amasomero zaayongezebwa okuva ku miliyoni 4 ne zidda kawumbi kalamba.
The City Minister for Higher Education, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, emphasized the government's commitment to continue supporting schools in Wakiso and constructing more educational facilities.
Nexus Green Limited for offering a proof of concept to the Ministry of Education and Sports to showcase the benefits of cost-effective energy solutions to our schools. The government to expand and rehabilitate and build more schools to support free education for all in line with its policy of at least one parish, one primary school, one sub-county, one secondary school, and non-technical school per constituency.
In a message from the Minister of Education, Minister Muyingo encouraged the newly launched project, stating that solar energy is essential for helping learners succeed. The ministry will continue to electrify schools and expand solar systems to the educational institutions across the country.
To expanding the solarization of government schools across the country through the electricity access scale-up project. The aim of this project is to increase access to energy for households, commercial enterprises, industrial parks, and public institutions.
Mike Bukabulindi compiled this report for UBC News.
President District Commissioner of Butaleja, Jimmy Nambiro, has called upon the Anti-Corruption Unit and the Office of the Inspector General of Government to intervene in issues of bribery and corruption in the district. Nambiro states that there are many projects and services needed by the people of Butaleja, but due to the high level of corruption among district officials, service delivery is still low.
My humble appeal for Butaleja district is the anti-corruption unit. The anti-corruption unit, I repeat, and the IGG should have actually come to Butaleja yesterday.
Butaleja has been one of the districts lagging behind in service delivery, primarily due to high levels of corruption. This has led to a reliance on rice farming and agriculture. To combat this issue, the President of Uganda, His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni, has introduced various measures to fight corruption in districts and Uganda as a whole, including the establishment of institutions like the Anti-Corruption Unit and the Office of the IGG. Based on these developments, Assistant Resident District Commissioner Jimmy Nambiro expressed concern over the alarming levels of corruption in Butaleja and urged the Anti-Corruption Unit and the Office of the IGG come district's aid.
You can't come to Butaleja and find that the children in government-aided schools are being chased. We have sent a very serious signal to the heads of institutions. And I want to be very glad with my boss, the new RDC, who came and found me struggling with this message, and she has also backed it up. And so the head teachers now know that it is illegal. And even the president has issued directives. The Minister of Education, Mama Janet, has issued directives about this, but people had turned deaf ears.
He also discussed the parish development model PDM, highlighting how funds were allocated to the impoverished communities of Butaleja, but the money did not reach the intended beneficiaries.
The other areas in these government programs, Emyoga, I want to tell people who are watching us that in Butaleja is where you find circles which receive the money from government, but that money was eaten by people who are in government. Under the watch of even the RDC, under the watch of the RDC, the poor people who are supposed to get the money never got the money. Now PDM, it has been a mess until we had to swing in our action and say this must stop.
Nambiro encouraged his fellow leaders not to fear corrupt agents and continue fighting against corruption, expressing confidence that they can win this battle.
You know, I have always told the people as a cadre that, you see, if President Museveni had feared the bullets in Ruwero, he would have not liberated this country. So that's why I want to implore my fellow cadres not to fear these bullets from these corrupt agents. We should fight on, and we shall manage this battle.
The assistant RDC noted that some of the high levels of corruption are driven by top district officials.
First of all, when we talk about issues of bribes, there are some local leaders, especially the chairman LC5. For me, I am saying he needs to be put aside for investigations to be carried on.
Tanaba Kenneth compiled this report for UBC News.
News Tonight will now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Ababona fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! As Uganda Crane showed Congo, why nobody is called a Katiro? Mayuwa wa mubiri ngabuli Joe! Katika Uganda Crane 6 on South Sudan on the 11th of October. Bring more fire and support even harder Nambole. Dial *165*20# or go to buy ticket on the Momo app to get your discounted ordinary ticket at 20k on Momo. And it comes with a free train ride to Nambole. Cash is 25 and starts at 7 p.m. The first 2 Nel special beers go for 1k each when you buy with Momo at MTN Gavut Day. Uganda Cranes fire! MTN fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda's football. Together, truly unstoppable.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
President Yoweri Museveni is set to launch the innovative 4-acre model campaign in Bunyoro sub-region, starting with the Greater Chibale districts. This landmark event will take place at the Chikwaya Playground in Kakumiro district on November 15, 2020. All residents, civil servants and leaders of Greater Chibale districts in Bunyoro and neighboring areas are invited to attend the launch in large numbers. The 4-acre model initiative led by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni aims to integrate ordinary people into the money economy. During his visit, President Museveni will tour selected 4-acre model farms in the area. This launch will showcase the initiative's impact on local communities, highlighting tangible benefits and success stories of the strategy for households. Don't miss out on this extraordinary event that promises to reshape the future of food security and socio-economic well-being for the people of Greater Chibale districts in Bunyoro sub-region and neighboring areas. Join area leaders for this event aimed at lifting ordinary people out of poverty using their available small land. The mega event will be held at Chikwaya Playground in Kakumiro district, Greater Chibale on November 15, 2024 at 10 a.m.
And this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Moving on, parents are often blamed for child neglect, which has contributed to the rising number of children living in foster care homes. Now, currently, there are an estimated 102 children per 100,000 in residential care worldwide. Now, the Permanent Secretary of Labour and Social Development is urging parents to take responsibility for their children's well-being.
Speaking at the Foster Care Conference in Kampala, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Agri David Chibenge, emphasized the importance of responsible parenting. He noted that there are currently 4,800,000 children under kinship care, a situation he attributes to parents failing to fulfill their parental roles.
Underpins the 1989 United on the Rights of the Child, which Uganda ratified in 1990. The Africa Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, our own Constitution and the Children's Act. All these emphasize the importance of raising children within a family. Situations where children cannot live with their biological parents for whatever reasons, we collectively have the responsibility to provide them with a stable, safe, and loving alternative family. There are some people who think it is difficult to extend love to somebody with whom you have no biological connection.
Ronald Sejuko of Love Without Boundaries called upon financially capable Ugandans to open their homes to children who have been abandoned by their parents.
So I'm here to call everyone that is watching me, please come up, let us protect our children, let us love our children, let us give time to the children. But even if you don't have a child, you can have a child that is not yours. That's what we're calling foster care. Looking after a child that does not belong to you or you are not related to them, and give them a secure environment, a secure home for these children to thrive as the future Ugandans.
Love Without Boundaries is a Ugandan foster care program that aims to place vulnerable children in loving family homes, reducing the number of children who end up on the streets or in orphanages.
its kind is to mobilize our nation to the need for us to focus on how best can we care for our children using an alternative care option of foster care. So Love Without Boundaries was excited, and I, as a person, I'm calling you.
So far, 72 children have been reunited with their families through the efforts of the Love Without Boundaries organization. And Kenneth Tanaba for UBC.
The Cherished Children Foundation has launched a Be Brave campaign in schools to empower school-going children with knowledge on child sacrifice and trafficking. The campaign has begun in Kiwoga district and focuses on the proper use of technology.
The rising cases of child sacrifice and abuse through various social media platforms have prompted stakeholders to initiate measures to counter tech predators.
To speak up if they are being sexually abused or groomed or anything else. It's encouraging children to voice out any concerns they maybe have with a relative or a stranger. And that's the purpose of Be Brave.
The Uganda police encourage schools to establish mechanisms for sensitizing students on how to react to suspected strangers.
There are other risks, leave alone fire, playing all over the compound. Have you covered those manholes all over the compound?
The Cherished Children Foundation's Be Brave campaign is designed to equip children with safety techniques. It has commenced at Bamusuta Primary School in Kiwoga district.
Kids have been sacrificed doing child labor, but these people have come to teach our children the dangers of using internet, more so the social media, the likes of TikTok, WhatsApp, and some other social media on Instagram. So today they have known the dangers, and I think this is going to help us to keep our children in schools.
Communicate assertively, and it will help them to know their rights. There are issues they have talked about child trafficking, children using social media, talking to strangers they don't know, and after some period of time, these people become friends, but risky friends who later on lead them into sexual activities.
Research indicates that children with access to phones are vulnerable to social media predators who create fake accounts to harass them and in some cases lead to trafficking. Abdul Nasir Luwama compiled this story for UBC.
The Japanese government, in collaboration with the government of Uganda, has launched an initiative to improve education for the girl child in Uganda through the construction of dormitories in government schools, aiming to reduce dropout rates. According to Mr. Yoshimura Tomotaka, a representative of the Japanese government, the initiative is designed to ensure that the girl child receives quality education. We'll be getting that story when it is ready, but let's move on now. And cultural leaders have affirmed a commitment towards widening the gospel non-communicable diseases. The leader of Iteso Cultural Union, Papa Sanda Emalot, decries increasing cases of cancer, underscoring the need to support herbalists and research scientists in developing cancer medicine. This was during an engagement between Ministry of Gender and cultural leaders on self-care, where Minister Peace Mutuzo challenged them to embrace a healthy living.
On this board, they have appended their signatures. It is part of the commitment towards ensuring self-care for all their subjects. State Minister for Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, is leading this cause. Top among the concerns are non-communicable diseases, which are reported on the increase.
Young girls getting pregnant before 18 years is unacceptable.
We recommend at least 30 minutes of exercise every day, 5 days a week, a minimum of 150 minutes in 1 week.
So what is our vision as a country? That when we integrate self-care into the existing health system, using your structures as kingdoms, primary health care management.
Cervical cancer, high blood pressure, asthma and diabetes have kept experts concerned, worried. Cultural leaders agree that something needs to be done.
We've got a very silent killer in Teso called the cancer of the cervix. It is a very big concern to us. We are asking ourselves, what is the reason?
The success of this cause will take support from government towards research scientists and cultural institutions.
We have got so many traditional healers, people with traditional medicine, herbal medicines, which can treat some of these diseases, especially cancer. But they have not been given opportunity for them for their drugs to be tested, to be given financial support in order to develop those drugs.
We appreciate, we value it, and we will endeavor as much as we can apply them as and when it's possible for all of us.
These appeals are coming at a time the country is mourning veteran journalist Francis Onapito Ekomoloid, who recently succumbed to cancer of the colon. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, Rotary Uganda, in collaboration with the Rotary Foundation, has launched the 4th edition of the African Peace Concert, a vibrant hybrid musical event scheduled for January 10th, 2025. Now, this concert aims to raise $500,000 for Makerere Rotary Peace Center and to promote peace-building efforts across Africa.
The Makerere Rotary Peace Center, inaugurated in February 2020, serves as a beacon of hope and education for peace building and conflict transformation.
Africa Peace Concert 2025 is an initiative aimed at raising awareness and resources to support conflict resolution and peace building efforts, particularly through programs like the Makerere Peace Center, which cultivates future leaders committed to fostering peace.
Makerere Rotary Peace Center happens to be located or domiciled in the Ugandan space, but it serves the entire globe, more specifically the Africa.
Funds raised will support the Peace Center's programs aimed at training peace builders to resolve conflicts.
Our country is benefiting from the Rotary Foundation, which spends over $5 million every year in supporting the 7 peace centers by providing the resources to educate those scholars in the 7 universities in the world, from certificate level, degree to Master's Program in Peace and Conflict Prevention.
This year's event will feature a diverse lineup of performances that symbolize unity, hope and peace. Organizers emphasize that the concert is not just for entertainment, it is also significant in advancing peace initiatives on the continent.
Rotary Peace reach out first of all to the forgotten conflicts. You realize that the world right now discusses Gaza, it discusses Ukraine, but no one is talking about Sudan anymore. And this is our continent. It happens, we have very many forgotten conflicts, and through this Rotary Peace Center, we are able to raise our voice on the issues that are really affecting us.
The concert not only celebrates African culture and talent, but also provides a platform to champion peace and conflict resolution across the continent.
Since its establishment, the Makerere Rotary Peace Center has welcomed 110 Peace Fellows from 43 countries, with each seventh cohort comprising 21 fellows from 11 countries including Botswana, Burundi, Cameroon, Argentina and Australia, among others.
Appealing to all Ugandans who believe, love and promote peace to come and join us and join Arusha International President Stephanie.
Sandra Kahunde, Jamil Sakaja, News Tonight.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Ababona fire!
Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! As Uganda Crane showed Congo, why nobody is called a Katino? Mayuwa wa mubiri Gaburi Joe! Getting the Uganda Crane 6 on South Sudan on the 11th of October. Bring more fire and support even harder Nambole. Just a 165*20# or go to buy ticket on the Momo app to get your discounted ordinary ticket at 20k on Momo. And it comes with a free train ride to Nambole. Cash is 25k. Camp starts at 7 p.m. The first 2 Nel special beers go for 1k each when you buy with Momo at MTN Day. Uganda Cranes Fire! MTN Fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda's football. Together, truly unstoppable.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local governments, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph node. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500. It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is with support from UNICEF.
And of course, that money market report brings us to the business segment. And Airtel Money has announced a new partnership with Starbucks International in an effort to boost cashless transactions and enhance digital financial inclusion. The collaboration aims to make it easier for Ugandans to pay for goods and services using mobile money, especially at Starbucks fuel stations across the country.
Airtel Money and Starbucks International have partnered to provide convenient, cashless payment solutions at all Starbucks fuel stations. This move will transform the way Ugandans transact by offering a seamless, secure and cashless experience.
As we cement our relationship with Starbucks, and I can assure you, Starbucks team, that Airtel Money is with you all the way. All the way. We should clap for that.
Both companies have highlighted the benefits of this partnership, emphasizing that Airtel Money subscribers will be able to make direct mobile payments at Starbucks stations, enabling ease and safety.
Our collaboration opens up another avenue for customers to make payments. So aside from just using normal card, you can actually use your Airtel Money wallet to pay for fuel, also pay for goods and services that you buy at the Starbucks shops. You can use our merchant codes, they're available at all the fuel stations, and that makes it more secure for you as a customer, and payments are instant. You can plan out your payments, and therefore you can do a lot more than what you would do with cash normally.
The partnership aligns with the government's commitment to promote cashless payments and reduce reliance on physical currency.
All our people that have won these bikes, I know you are going to use them for business purposes. You may even give riders to ride on your behalf. That's okay. But give them a fuel card of Starbucks so that you can manage the fuel system by yourself.
It is clear that initiatives like these will play a major role in reshaping the future of digital transactions in Uganda. Sandra Kahonde, Robert Katamba, News Tonight.
Sports news now, and Uganda coach Paul Joseph Put has summoned a squad of 27 players ahead of the Total Energies double-header against South Sudan in the 2025 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. We have more in this story.
Changes have been made in the squad that faced Congo in the last outing. Among the 27 players summoned for the Cranes duties, a midfielder Tadeo Ranga and forward Derek Nsibambi ahead of Uganda's double-header against South Sudan at Mandela National Stadium on Friday, October 11, followed by a return leg at Juba Stadium on Tuesday. Ranga, who plays for Rwandan champions APRFC, brings wealth of experience to the midfield, while Nsibambi makes a comeback after a lengthy absence. Another notable inclusion is young defender Javin Chizito, who returns to the squad following his recent move to KCCA. The coach has also rewarded promising talent Shafiq Kwikiliza with a call-up, acknowledging the youngster's impressive start to his KCCA career since joining from Ball last season.
I'm impressed about the Ugandan public, the way they have been supporting our team, and I want to make a call to the public. Please come to the stadium, come support, because it will not be easy games.
Meanwhile, striker Muhammad Shaban, who plays for Libyan side Al Hilal Benghazi, misses out on the squad due to injury.
And for those of you that believe in the local league, 10 of them in, but the coach also makes a clarion call to the fans to come and be the 12th player, because he knows with his 11 players alone, it may not be easy. And therefore, for those of you that want to come to the stadium and add fire to an unexpected fiery contest for the 3 points in Nambole, you will need an access permit to access the stadium.
The team will enter residential camp at Cranes Paradise Hotel Nalia on Uganda currently has 4 points from their opening 2 games, having drawn 2-2 against South Africa and secured a 2-0 victory at home against Congo-Brazzaville.
Aimon Ngabo with that report, and that brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Kijjanangoma, wishing you a blessed night. But I'll leave you with Kutesa Mili with the weather forecast for tomorrow. Mili.
Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Kutesa Mili with your weather update. We are still having thunder showers dominating most parts of the country. Nevertheless, other areas are still having sunny intervals. Seeing the satellite picture, we are having the meridional arm of our country enhanced with the local effects together with the moist winds that are blowing in from Indian Ocean coming into our country. Hence the rains that we are having here and there. Tomorrow morning, we're spreading up with thunder showers in Nakapute City, Kampala, and the nearby areas around lake shores, and in Nakasongola, apart from other areas that was with slight intervals. Moving to the eastern part, we are looking up to a sunny interval in Soroti and the nearby areas, but the rest of the place with light showers. The western stretch is expected to wake up to a bright Sunday, apart from Kasese, where we're seeing light showers. The northern sector is expected to wake up to a bright Sunday tomorrow morning. Moving to the afternoon hours, we are seeing a pickup of light showers in parts of Nakasongola and thunder showers across Muwende, but around Kampala and the nearby areas expect to have sunny intervals at maximum 28 degrees Celsius, apart from Nakasongola where we are seeing a 30 degree Celsius. The eastern part is dominating most parts of that side at a maximum 29 degrees Celsius, apart from Soroti where we are seeing a 30 and thunder showers. The western stretch, a pickup of thunder showers expected in the afternoon hours at a maximum 29 degrees Celsius across Kasese, 28 across Masindi and Imbarara, Kabal Highlands with the lowest of 23 degrees Celsius. The northern sector to have thunder showers in the afternoon hours at a maximum 30 degrees Celsius. Moving out of Uganda to around a few states across the globe, we are forecasting sunny conditions across Johannesburg at a maximum of 39 degrees Celsius, across Dubai, 22 Johannesburg, Lagos with sunny intervals at a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius, that's pretty hot, New York and Paris with cloudy conditions at a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius and 16 across Paris. Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Gulu High School, the pride of Northern Uganda, standing tall since 1914. As the third oldest traditional school in Uganda, we invite you to witness a celebration of talent, unity and sportsmanship at the much anticipated Gulu High School Sports Gala 2024. This is more than just a sports event. It is a showcase of Gulu High excellence and vibrant culture with a strong foundation, bringing back the history and the glory of our great school. Gulu High School, all students, join us as we revive the spirit of Gulu High School through sports and celebrate our enduring motto, be honest. So be honest and don't miss the excitement, the energy, the passion of the Gulu High School Sports Gala as we take our rightful place at the top. Mark your calendar and join us at the Gulu High School Sports Gala 2024. This message is brought to you by Gulu High School All Students Association.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Thank you. So I represent a show for Rotary that is called the Rotary Moment Show, and we showcase what Rotary is to also stop the misconceptions about Rotary. It has helped us a lot for people to understand who we are in Rotary, how we serve, the different services that we have done. So what we're going to do right now is to record a brief 2-minute interview for you to give us highlights on, first of all, the conference theme is Keeping Hope Alive, but also the theme of the year is Creating Hope. And there's a lot of sameness between that and what the Buganda Kingdom believes in. I'd like you to give a little highlight on those two seamless themes.
Well, like I said in the opening moments of the conference, I'm an eternal optimist. I never believe that difficulties or challenges are about. I always believe that tomorrow will be better than today.
Indeed.
And I think I've developed that belief over time. Over the years, I've realized that whoever achieves anything must be prepared to surmount the difficulties along the way. I don't know any single individual who has succeeded in life when they haven't rolled up their sleeves, when they haven't bent their backs, when they haven't scooped dirt. So Rotary comes up with programs aimed at bringing a smile to people's faces. And that sustains hope. Most of the people you see, the drug addicts, the alcoholics, are essentially afraid of certain situations, and they think they will get some reprieve in those indulgences. The reality of the matter is that the situation gets worse because they've lost hope. The Kingdom of Uganda was restored only 30 years ago.
Yes.
The kingdom was banned in 1966-67. And there are people within the kingdom who never lost hope. People who believed that the Kabaka will come back and sit on his throne. They were not multitudes, but they were very intentional.
Yes.
The Kabaka himself kept hope alive. When he returned from exile in 1986, he had nowhere to stay. All his properties were under occupation by the central government. And he had no people around him. I think it was hope, it was courage, it was character. So he returned. The first expression of his intention, for those who went to the small office he had, on the desk was the seal of the Kingdom of Uganda. That said it all. Without him saying much, there was a seal of the Kingdom of Uganda placed on his table. And look where we've gotten because of the hope. So when Rotary comes up with these programs, I think those who are smart enough to realize the advantages and they adopt these programs. The programs, generate hope. They sustain hope. They can achieve a lot of things in life for themselves and for the communities where they stay. That's why I always associate myself with Rotary. In any case, I don't have a choice because I'm surrounded by them.
By the Rotarians. Now, for 11 years, you have kept hope alive. You have given us visibility of our King, and that is one of the most wonderful things that you've done. And I give you props for that. That's wonderful. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I know we must go, but 2 questions. One is about mental health. Our president has pushed mental health as a very important aspect of Rotary all over the world. And I want you to associate that to the Buganda Kingdom. We have a lot of issues, and growing up as a Muganda, I know that we never talk about we always a very private community when it comes to family. How are we ensuring that Buganda and the mental health subject is discussed? My second question, so that we roll over very quickly, will be about the boy child, which is also connected to the mental health aspect, because a lot of our boy children are into addiction, are into alcoholism, and as well as growing up as a Muganda, we were told the boy is supreme. And I used to hear my my mother wants the boys aside to show them what to do, but nobody ever does that. They see. How do we change the seeing to better grooming? Those are my two wonderful questions.
But first of all, mental health. You see in Uganda and most African communities, mental health was not fully appreciated. It was a question of, I think, knowledge, scientific knowledge, and there was stigma related to mental health. The people who are not stable upstairs were regarded as being or cursed or all sorts of descriptions which were uncharitable to them. I think it's just simply a question of how developed scientifically we were to understand that this is a disease and the factors that cause this problem. So for some people it's genetic. I can't explain them technically, I'm not a doctor, but some people's brains produce in excess of certain, I think, whatever they are, chemicals.
Nanos.
And that makes them mentally unstable.
Yes.
But then others are affected by the circumstances under which they live.
The stress.
The stress. People who have families and they can't feed them.
Yes.
People who cannot take their children to school. You know, there is a joke I heard on radio about a man in a taxi who was saying, he's talking to himself.
Yeah.
You can clearly understand that he's under a lot of pressure.
Pressure, yes.
So to first and foremost end the stigma, probably the way we did with sickle cell. When the Kabaka dedicated the proceeds to his birthday run 2017, I think, to 2020, to the awareness about sickle cell, that's when people woke up.
Yes.
And people thought, don't marry into that family because they've got a curse moving along their heads.
Yes.
But it was, many of them, it was simply sickle cell disease. During the reign of Kabaka Semakokiro, they called it. They could not, I think, in a scientific way explain what caused the disease.
The sickling. Yes.
So we need probably to address mental health in a similar manner. To know that it occurs. It is a disease like malaria, for example. The causes are different, but it's just a disease.